So they are talking about people are going to start stealing because Trump cut the food stamps. How do you think us people who get up every day and work a 9 to 5, but many of us still can't afford to buy groceries, or we can't afford to buy the amount that we need, how do you think that we live? We make it work off of less. So I posted a video before, a $25 per week budget for Aldi, and this is for a single person. If you just happen to have 2 kids, then we can bump that budget up to $75 per week, which is still very, very small compared to how much groceries cost. So the thing is, it's going to be chicken legs, it's going to be rice, it's going to be bags of vegetables. It's not going to be anything fancy. I even threw in a box of granola bars. This will last you 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. Like I said, it's not fancy, but if you need food. So I have a book in my link tree above, Save More, Live More, $3. It tells you about 12 tips to live a better life. That's saving, investing, and living on less than you make.
My kids have not eaten 5 days. It is the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of my kids.
Trump done cut them food stamps off.
If you're poor, don't have kids, okay? If you're struggling, don't have kids. Don't bring more in. If you already have them, that's another situation. If you don't have them, don't bring any in. And if you have 2, don't go having another one. If you have 1, don't go having 2 more.
So they say 2 million is getting cut off this month for the scamps. I'm about to go find out if I'm in that number, in that ratio.
It's been day 5 and I have not received no food stamps. My disability checks is on hold. My cash benefit.
Of course, y'all seen all over social media and on the news that starting November 1st, 42 million individuals will not be receiving their SNAP benefits. And now here's my take on that. Now, the people that I normally feel, that I do feel sorry the most, that I will keep them in my prayers, are the elderly, the disability, and the people that really, really needed, like the very low income family with a lot of kids. The ones that I really do feel sorry the most, I will keep them in my prayers. Now, for the people that finesse the system, too lazy to even go out and get a job, all that I can tell you is you need to find a way and figure it out. With the government shutdown, people are already in cahoots when a lot of government workers has been furloughed. Some of the essential workers may have to still work, even though they're not getting paid and everything. And now when we're hearing about the food stamps being cut off starting November 1st, which means Thanksgiving is like right around the corner. That's the time people start getting their groceries ready for that. All things really going to do is increase theft, increase riots, and increase raids. There are people on here already making PSAs saying that if they do not receive their benefits on November 1st, they are already going to go ahead and start looting these stores. I did see a couple people on here already been reporting that a lot of those stores they've been going to, like Walmart or whatever, has already been raided already. I mean, they didn't really stop and think that's actually what's exactly going to happen. And also, one of these days, when the government do open back up, when people start receiving their benefits right back, that's going to also cause the stores to become even more busier. Now, setting limitations on food stamps, you can't buy junk food, you can't buy any sugar drinks or candy and all that. With that, I totally agree on that. But immediately cut food stamps off completely from everyone, that's actually very diabolical, and that's something I don't agree with. Like I said, I only feel sorry for the disability and our elderly people that really needs it. I'm the only ones I really do feel sorry for. But if everybody else is feeling lazy and don't want to go out and get a job, you're just going to have to find a way to figure it out. Just whatever you have left in your car, you're just going to have to just try to stretch it out. And, I'm pretty sure you will find some way to keep what you have and manage to the month of November, or trying to seek help from people you may know. So like I said, you just have to find a way to figure it out. So that's my take on that. So let me know in the comment section. Tell me guys how you feel about the food stamps being cut off starting November 1st.
Y'all ain't hear me. They cut my food stamps. I ain't paying for none of this shit. I got babies at home that gotta eat. You think I'm just gonna leave my cart here? Hell no. I ain't paying nothing. I'm walking out with it. Try and stop me.
So Trump's cutting food stamps. There's people stealing foods at Walmarts and other places around, I'm sure, because Trump's cutting food stamps. Just the benefits. Just put it that way, benefits. It's just like, at what point, like, we already got these mass riots going around. First it was the toilet paper during COVID, and now it's just gonna be food. And you know what's funny about this? What really, like, makes me laugh, really, really, like, a lot, is that a lot of these people, a lot of these fuckers voted for Trump. A lot of these fuckers voted for Trump. And now they're like regretting it. They're like, oh, I shouldn't have voted for him. I shouldn't have. Bitch, we told you. We told you. Half of us didn't even want Kamala to win. And that's fine, but we still voted for her. Anybody would have been a better option than Trump. And half of these people that voted for Trump are now just fucking screaming and crying and, oh, I should have known, and oh, I should have known. She told you. We told you. We told you. Y'all thought Project 2025 was just bullshit. Y'all really thought 2025 was bullshit. It's just funny. Like, I'm fucking laughing. Y'all thought, oh my goodness. I can't with y'all. I need a moment.
A Tyson's food processing plant now in Indiana, we've learned today, is set to close next year. This is all part of an effort there to cut costs.
The facility opens to boost Tyson Foods' automation and robotics efforts in food production. The Tyson Manufacturing Automation Center officially opened in downtown Springdale today.
Tyson Foods shut down its U.S. plants, leaving thousands of jobs in limbo. And the reason? Trump's trade war. This shutdown is one of the biggest shocks to America's food industry in years, and the fallout could be just beginning. It was supposed to be the comeback story of a generation. America first, bring jobs home, protect the heartland. But in 2025, small towns across Arkansas, Missouri, and Iowa have learned what those slogans really mean. Silent factories, emptied homes, and paychecks erased in the name of efficiency. And at the center of it all, Tyson Foods, the country's largest meat processor. A company that used to proudly wear the Made in America label, now closing plant after plant, town after town. Let's start with the numbers. In just 2 years, Tyson Foods has shut down more than a dozen meat processing plants, cutting loose over 5,000 jobs nationwide. In Perry, Iowa, 1,300 families woke up to an email. Plant closed, effective immediately. Workers who had spent decades on the pork lines were given a severance check and a link to a job training website. No warning, no plan. In Noel, Missouri, the entire town economy was built on one Tyson chicken plant. Overnight, it was gone, leaving 1,500 people jobless in a town of barely 2,000. And that was just the beginning. Before we continue, make sure to hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. Donald Trump claimed his tariff strategy would force companies like Tyson to build more plants at home. The higher the tariff, the more likely the company will come into the United States and build a factory, he declared from a Pennsylvania steel mill this spring. But in reality, the opposite happened. In 2025 alone, Trump imposed new 10% tariffs on all imports, doubled steel tariffs to 50%, and slapped extra duties on food, farm equipment, and packaging from Europe, China, and Mexico. Instead of boosting American manufacturing, these tariffs spiked input costs across the board. Tyson, whose entire business depends on affordable feed, steel, transportation, and packaging, saw its margins squeezed from every direction. Rather than relocate production to American soil, Tyson's boardroom made a cold calculation. Close unprofitable plants, shift capacity to lower-cost states or countries, and cut costs wherever possible. The jobs Trump promised would come back, gone, not replaced. And with each factory closure, another American community slid into economic despair. Trump's protectionism, it turns out, protected no one on the factory floor. It protected only profits. In Dexter, Missouri, Tyson's closure of its poultry facility erased 683 jobs in a town of 8,000. It gutted our local economy overnight, said Dexter City Administrator David Wyman. We lost people. We lost income. We lost hope. The ripple effect was brutal. The local grain supplier lost its biggest buyer. Independent chicken farmers who grew birds for Tyson saw their contracts canceled without warning. 2 family diners and the hardware store closed within months. And the school district cut extracurricular programs because property tax revenues evaporated. Multiply that story across Indiana, Kansas, Pennsylvania, and Arkansas, the places Trump promised to revive, and the picture is clear. The very communities counting on protection got blindsided instead. Tyson's plant closures didn't just eliminate jobs. They wiped out entire local economies. Businesses that depended on Tyson's payroll dried up. Houses went unsold. Grocery stores cut hours or closed altogether. Workers who once voted for promises of prosperity found themselves staring at empty factories and for sale signs instead. This is the hidden cost of corporate retreat. In Perry, the closure of Tyson's pork plant wasn't just an economic hit, it was a cultural and human crisis. Nearly 60% of the workforce were immigrants and refugees, many from Sudan, Eritrea, and Central America, who came seeking the American dream. They bought homes, paid taxes, sent kids to school, and then, in the blink of an eye, it was gone. With Tyson's exit, Perry lost more than 20% of its total population income. Within weeks, the local grocery store reported sales down 50%. School lunch programs struggled to source affordable protein. Churches and food banks scrambled to feed the newly unemployed. Mayor Dirk Kavanaugh said, "They told us the plant was underperforming." What does that mean for the hundreds of families who did their best every single day? No answer came from corporate headquarters. Perry's story is repeated across Tyson's supply chain. When factories close, workers lose income, but so do towns, businesses, and schools. The tax base collapses. Retailers shut down, and what remains is a ghost town surrounded by the remnants of a company's abandoned promises. This is not bringing jobs home. Donald Trump's economic team claimed tariffs would protect American industry, but in 2025, it's clear they've only protected corporate profits while exposing small-town workers to brutal global forces. When Trump raised steel tariffs from 25% to 50%, Tyson executives warned that everything from refrigeration units to meat cutting blades would cost more. Transportation companies hauling Tyson's products across state lines faced higher fuel and equipment costs. Feed prices rose because aluminum tariffs hit grain storage and transportation equipment. Every link in the supply chain tightened, squeezing Tyson's profits and forcing the company to pass the pain downward, straight to its workers. The logic Trump touted was simple: make imports expensive, and companies will build at home. But that isn't how Tyson or any global corporation operates. Faced with higher domestic costs, they don't build new plants. They shut down old ones. They don't hire more workers. They lay them off. And when input prices skyrocket because of tariffs, Tyson doesn't swallow the losses. It closes underperforming factories in small towns and shifts production to newer, cheaper plants in states or countries where costs are lower. These decisions aren't patriotic, they're profit-driven, and the fallout lands on American workers, not executives. While thousands of Tyson workers scramble to pay rent and feed their families, Tyson's CEO, Donnie King, collected $12 million in compensation in 2024. That figure includes his salary, bonuses, and stock awards, almost 300 times what the average Tyson employee makes in a year. At the same time, Tyson secured over $250 million in direct federal subsidies from USDA programs meant to support agriculture. Add in supply chain support and federal disaster relief, and Tyson hauled in over $3 billion in government-backed aid in less than 2 years.
If you are naive enough to think that the pause to SNAP benefits on November 1st isn't going to affect you because you don't receive food stamps, I want you to hear this. About 1 in 8 Americans receive SNAP benefits. In fact, in Oklahoma, where I live, that's 1 in 6 people. So about 600,000 people in my state alone, Oklahoma, receive SNAP benefits. About 1 in 4 children in the U.S. receive SNAP benefits. But you're not one of those people, so you don't care. But hang with me. When those benefits go away, just about $9 billion in grocery spending vanishes. So you've got to be thinking about not just the grocery stores being able to stay open and pay their employees, but you have to think about the entire supply chain, trucks on the road, people who provide food to these grocery stores. $9 billion. Every dollar spent in SNAP benefits adds about $1.50 to $1.80 to the economy. So cutting those benefits isn't saving that dollar, it's taking away that $1.50 to your local economy. But you don't receive SNAP benefits, you don't work for a grocery store, you don't drive a truck, you don't give a shit. But when all of those things happen, the only way to combat that is to drastically increase the price of groceries. Grocery prices are already up over 3% in 2025 alone, which is almost an entire percentage higher than the average increase in grocery prices over the last 20 years. I thought they were supposed to go down day one though. So even if SNAP benefits only pause for 1 month, which by the way would be detrimental to all the people I mentioned before that you don't give a shit about, it will cost the economy roughly $13 to $14 billion in profit. And you can expect your grocery prices in just that 1 month to go up at least 1%. And states will stand to lose about $300 to $500 million in sales tax revenue. So even if you do not receive SNAP benefits, you never have, you never will, you do not want these to be paused on November 1st.
I voted for Trump, and I don't agree with him taking away the EBT benefits from the American people. This is what I just heard a creator say. And so now my thought process is, were you not aware of what you were voting for? Not who, but what? Because clearly you could not have been fully aware. So then that makes me think, when most people are voting, like, you know, with this past election, were we just making votes because Trump was a white man and Kamala is a black woman or a woman? Is that what your vote was based on, rather than what was going to come into play from each of these candidates? This is why we have to read. We have to read to understand why we are making the choices that we are making. This is mind-boggling.
Donald Trump just fucked up. Like, why would you take away these people benefits? We literally just had to go home because everybody came into my grocery store. I work at Walmart. Everybody came into Walmart bum rushing, stealing, like filling up buggies, running out the store, like just putting all the groceries in their cart because he want to cut off motherfucking food stamps. Y'all, this shit is crazy. Like, I think y'all are getting y'all food stamps in November, or maybe some of y'all is not, but like, they literally just had to like do emergency evacuation at our store because everybody came in going crazy over like food for their kids and shit. And I'm not gonna hold y'all. Isn't this the same orange dude that y'all voted for to be in presidency? Like, isn't this the same dude? The same Lorax man y'all voted for? Like, y'all, this shit is crazy. They literally had to, like, evacuate all of the employees at my job to the back because everybody came in stealing. Everybody said, fuck Christmas, fuck holidays. Like, we finna just take everything out this bitch. Like, this shit is crazy.
Breaking news out of the White House tonight is Donald Trump has confirmed he will not be doing anything about food prices. He said, quote, "I know I said that during the campaign, but when you're president, you have to do different things than you do when you're campaigning." He said the campaign is meant to become president. Once you become president, that's when you do whatever you want. He then continued to talk about what he would be doing with the money he would be saving. Most of it is going to go into renovations at Mar-a-Lago.
Hi, my girl. Welcome back again. Good morning, good evening, depending where you're seeing me from. How you guys doing? Please, we are turning in to subscribe, like, comment, and share. All the people that voted Donald Trump, seriously, they are crying because Trump have cut the food stamps. Oh my God, these people, they are not finding it so funny. Now look at, a lot of people have lost their job. A lot cannot eat well. They cannot feed well. They cannot train their children. They cannot feed their children well. Instead of Donald Trump to think of how to fix his own country, America, he will now went ahead and cut the food stamp that people are crying. People are regretting their vote every now and then. This is totally unacceptable because that food stamps and free medical this thing is what is giving people good life. At least they are enjoying it, but now everything has crumbled. You that watch this clip or video, what you have to think about Donald Trump administration, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. See you guys in my next video. Thank you.